My colleague Heidi Giokos at this point joining me, Heidi, and just perhaps give us some context as to what has been said so far by the president or even to the president.
Yes, we haven't really heard much from the president at the moment. He's obviously, of course, engaging with officials at this point. He is currently in conversation with the city of Tshwane Mayor Cyril Ramaphosa, as well as officials here from the Rooiwal water waste plant, obviously just trying to ascertain exactly what is going on. I'm just going to ask you, Tumelo, to just bear with us because it's a bit of a scuffle at this point in terms of to the best spots that we can actually listen in. Just give me a second, Tumelo, so I can try and get in here. Okay, it seems as though he is moving further down now to possibly do a further assessment. But it seems as though it's important for this walkabout and assessment by the president to of course try and figure out what is going on. We've been told that not everybody can go up at this point with the president. It's obviously very narrow, and it is the waterways plant area where he's going to be doing an assessment. So I think they are all trying their very best to check what is going on. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make, Tumelo, is that this waterways plant is a problematic one, and they are trying to ascertain where the problem is, where the problem started, and if, of course, it is the water that has been contaminated with cholera at this point, because we have been told that they are still testing for that. 26 people have, of course, died due to the cholera outbreak, 25 of them being in Hamanskraal. It was important for the president to come and figure out what is going on here, because we've heard time and time again about how money has been allocated to the waste plant, and you have residents in Hamanskraal that are unable to drink the water at this point, and those that did, 25 of them sadly lost their lives because of this possible cholera contamination. And I keep saying this possible cholera contamination because government has not officially come out to say that they have found cholera in the water. There are still investigations and testing that just to ascertain what's going on, but at the moment they are still doing an assessment. Exactly, the president is. He seems to be just doing a viewing and explaining, and as you can see, the visuals we are showing you at the moment, Tumelo, it's very difficult to get to the top there. When were you? There's something wrong with the microphone cable. It keeps cutting.
All right, there's the president alongside the mayor, Cyril Ramaphosa, continuing, of course, with the walkabout, trying to assess the particular Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant, but also just to ascertain where exactly the contaminated water could have come from, the root problem of this contaminated water that is believed to be at the heart of this cholera outbreak out in Hamanskraal, taking lives in the process. We understand 24 in Hamanskraal. Families, of course, say they cannot cannot cook, they cannot drink the water. They're forced to actually, because they don't even have alternatives at this stage. Some of the water tankers that have been brought into the communities would be depleted. They cannot afford to buy bottled water at this point, or even to do their laundry. So let's take it back to Heidi Giokos now. Heidi, I suppose there were some, audio complications I can understand with the scuffle there, all trying to really follow through with what the president is being told, but what feedback we can expect from him. But this visit quite significant, being the first by President Cyril Ramaphosa since, of course, the cholera outbreak in Hamanskraal.
Yes, I'm hoping that you can hear me at this point, Tumelo. I am standing still and just trying to make sure that our audio does stabilize. But yes, indeed, these are live visuals of the President together with the Premier of Gauteng, the Mayor of the City of Tshwane, but also more importantly, the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mqunu, as well as the Health Minister. There have been many concerns around how people were able to contract cholera, especially with the concern that it could be coming from the water, especially because there have been concerns for possibly almost 2 decades around the state of this water waste plant and the possible contamination. It is of great concern, and we obviously are trying to figure out what exactly the president is being told, but also he will be heading to the Temba Stadium in the Kanana area in Hamanskraal.
All right, unfortunately, Heidi, we seem to have lost you once again as you were trying to give us some context there. But of course, just touching on Mayor Celia's Brink, saying that a further 2.5 billion rand, we understand, would be needed for phase 2 of the Rooiwal refurbishment project. That obviously exceeding the budget of the city of Tshwane. I mean, he was quoted before as saying that it's not enough to solve the problem, really. And they've said over and over again that the resources of the city of Tshwane are simply too limited to do these upgrades. They would need, of course, the partnership of the National Department of Water and Sanitation. They've got serious supply chain management issues, though, they have conceded as a city, with irregular tenders being approved by the city in the past and have not been honest about this. So with the lack of resources, the lack of expertise, they will need this partnership. These are just some of the reasons as the Mayor Celia's Brink has given before. So at this point, I suppose this visitation will be quite important at the back of that first engagement we saw publicly with Minister Senzo Mqunu, but also seeing that the Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Phaahla, quite a significant picture there, because, I mean, if lives are being taken, more people are still in hospital, falling sick, really, from the cholera outbreak, we would need the intervention of the health department as well. Heidi, and I understand my team telling me that you're back with us. Seeing Dr. Joe Phaahla there, this walkabout needing his input from a health perspective.
Tumelo, I'm hoping that you can hear me at this point, but obviously there is, again, another scuffle. The president is now, seems as though he will be leaving the water waste plant. As I mentioned, he is accompanied by the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi, together with ministers such as Water and Sanitation, Health, as well as the Health MEC. We also are seeing David Mahlobo here at this point. And I think what's important, what I was trying to highlight earlier, the fact that he is going to be heading to the Temba Stadium in the Kanana Hamanskraal area, where that has been one of the hardest hits, with about 25 people having died to outbreak in the area. The community has expressed time and time again with our reporters, having covered families who have tragically lost their loved ones, saying that they want intervention, and they have been crying out for help for some time. And of course, it has been a huge challenge with not clean drinking water. The community has obviously not to water at this point, and obviously saying this is of concern. We don't have buying bottled water, and they're worried that the tank is clean. and obviously offering water to community is not clean or safe. That's what the community has and feels. So it's good to hear what the president say to the Hamanskraal. The many cries out for intervention on the water.
The audio is still disappointing us there, Heidi. We'll have to, unfortunately, let you go for now. But, of course, we've seen those visuals of it almost looks like an inter-ministerial visit right now. The Department of Water and Sanitation, the Department of Health coming through, the president in the form of President Cyril Ramaphosa, Gauteng Premier, that is Panyaza Lesufi, of course, all accompanying the president alongside the Mayor, Cyril Brink in Tshwane, to do this walkabout and to ascertain exactly the root cause problem and source of this cholera outbreak. Heidi was just making the point around water tankers and bottled water, and we know that part of those trying to make efforts out in Hamanskraal to disseminate and dispatch those water bottles were gift of the givers. But of course not enough. I mean, a bottled water in a family of up to 7, even in some instances, not enough to sustain drinking, cooking, as well as doing laundry, amongst other things. So hopefully this visit will be quite significant in bringing this matter to an end so that no more lives are lost. And what has been a problem for many years, according to residents in Hamanskraal, even the Human Rights Commission saying that as far back as 2019, they have sent out that warning to say the water out in Hamanskraal is not that of a drinking state. It's hazardous. It could even be chronic and fatal. But still, those recommendations certainly not being taken to heart, because years later, still more concerns and complaints are being raised by residents of Hamanskraal. So hopefully the president will give us sound feedback after this visit.